You are an honest person. You have nothing to hide. So these open windows.
Baby, I'm an honest person, but I like to be sexy for my man sometimes.
Yeah, and that requires privacy.
Okay.
Lots of privacy.
I need blinds and curtains.
3 rooms back privacy.
Y'all don't need to see nothing up in here.
What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchet REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction.
Yes.
Super excited about this video, guys. If you're new to us
And we're new to you,
make sure you scroll down,
hit that subscribe button,
and turn on the post notification bell
because we're on the road to 100K.
And we cannot get there without you guys, all right? Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
Hey, it's David and welcome back to my channel. Today, let's talk about culture shocks in the Netherlands. A little bit about myself because culture shocks are always relative. I'm originally from California, but I've been studying, living, and working in the Netherlands for the past 3.5 years now. And that's the beautiful thing about culture shocks is that it's part of the experience of living abroad, studying abroad, and these are my experiences and opinions. So let's start with something big. Let's talk.
This is his experience, his opinions.
Can't take that from nobody.
You cannot take that from nobody. You can't take other people's perspectives. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. It may not apply to you, but this is his opinion.
So let's have an open mind. Let's do it.
Talk about racism in the Netherlands. Yes, racism. The Netherlands, one of the most open, progressive, diverse countries in the world. Yes, there still exists racism. Well, in fact, racism, it's a global thing.
Okay.
The thing about racism here, in my opinion, is that while it might seem very blatant and obvious, a form of racism here in the Netherlands, for many Dutch people, they don't see it that way. They don't see the wrong in it. Let me explain.
Black Pete is usually portrayed by white people in black face paint, wearing frizzy wigs and red lipstick. It is criticized for being racist.
So we can't talk about racism without talking about the sensitive topic.
What was the reason for that?
Yeah, what is the reason for that? Like, how does that, what is the mindset when you guys do these type of things, and what do you feel is the benefit behind doing it? Who are we all and eyeing in these type of conditions? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
And
I'm
was
just curious
that
to
the
know.
thing about the Christmas thing that they dress up for? I remember us covering something about it. I don't remember, but what's the reason and why do no one see any wrong in this? There has to be somebody who is from the Netherlands that sees some type of wrong in it.
Yeah.
So,
But it's global though. I mean, when I say global, it's obviously like a tradition almost, because it looked like it was on a float or a parade or something.
Yeah,
so it
that's
looked like
why
it comes year round or something.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was like that Christmas thing that we learned about. Just let us know.
Talk about it.
Zwarte Piet, Black Pete, or Blackface.
Yeah, the Black
but
Pete.
that was and still is a big cultural shock for me, seeing all these black faces during December
look
time.
weird.
So there's this Dutch tradition where they celebrate Sinterklaas. Sinterklaas or Saint Nicholas, an elderly white person, comes to town with his little helpers, these Zwarte Piets or Black Piets, and they go around town passing out candy to children. And the tradition is that adult and children will paint their faces black, wear wigs, dress up, and paint their lips red to imitate Black Pete. And for me, coming as an outsider, especially from the US, when I first saw a Black Pete, I was just shocked. I knew about it, but seeing it in
I would be shocked.
Child, I would be traumatized.
I would be shocked.
I wouldn't know what to do. Like, what the?
I don't know. Black
I don't think I know what to do because
I don't know.
that looks scary to me. Is it supposed to be scary?
Nah, it's kids for it's for Christmas. It's for the children to receive candy from the helpers of Santa Claus. But I'm not understanding.
I don't know.
It's like the Black Pete version of it. You know, like
Right. I don't know.
Yeah.
Little helpers.
more shocking. And I know nobody really knows where Black Pete came from.
Oh.
He could come from the slave trade, or he is black because he came down a chimney and the suit made his face black. But the fact is, we live in the 21st century, and there's actually a lot of black people living in the Netherlands. It just seems a bit old-fashioned to see people, white people, paint their faces black and imitate a Black Pete. And by no means is this the fault of children. Children know nothing about race. They just want candy. They just want to have fun.
Yeah.
But it's really a tradition that you have to think about. We live in the 21st century, and imagine yourself as a black person growing up in the Netherlands, and during this Santa Claus time, your friends...
Now, before you make a mention, I would like to make a mention that we have reacted to numerous of videos from different countries, different continents, where people have their parades, their festivals, and things of that nature. And just looking at the surface level of it, we would think, oh, they're having a good time. You know what I'm saying? But then when we really, expose the meaning behind it and the history behind it, there's always something more to it, to why they're doing what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So I know for sure that this has another level of meaning to it, to why they still have it in today's tradition and bring it to the kids and to the streets in such a broad way like that. I know there's some meaning to it, so I'd like to hear y'all perspective on why that.
Yeah, definitely. And I was going to say that he's saying all of this the same way that we would say it, but I feel like we have more of an edge on it, so people probably wouldn't take it as nicely as he's taking it. He's so calm and collected.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hold up.
It's still a culture shock, though. He's still in awe about it. Like, he don't know 100%.
I would love to know the perspective of a black parent or a black kid who lives in the Netherlands, how they feel about that.
Yeah, that would be a good one. Yeah.
Again, some things are just culture, I understand, but like he said, it is the 21st century, and maybe update it a little bit. Maybe have a black person do it.
Simple.
Other than the black face. Like that.
Yeah.
If I'm a kid looking at that, that looks scary, y'all. That looks scary.
I mean, hey.
Because even think about us with the Zulu and how they put the black makeup on.
Yep.
It's not all over. They're covered. That's scary.
But then we seen in the Caribbeans, they do paint themselves like that, but for another reason. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So again, there's so much meaning behind why cultures do what they do in different locations, and it's a good topic to talk about. Really get down in the grit about it, but
we'd love to know y'all opinions.
Facts.
Positive.
People around you are dressed up and they're painting their faces black. How would that feel? I don't know, but it just feels a little bit wrong, especially in a place like the Netherlands. The next thing I want to talk about related to racism relates to me being an Asian person in this country. One thing is a song that I recently learned about called Hanky Panky Shanghai.
Hanky Panky Shanghai, Hanky Panky, Hanky Panky, Hanky Panky, Hanky Panky, Hanky Panky.
Asians get picked on a lot.
They do. Shout out to all our Asian supporters. We went to school with Asians. You feel me?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not Asian. My wife isn't Asian, but just looking at that, it doesn't comes off as something in their tradition.
That's making fun.
It just doesn't come off as their tradition.
Is that like a real widespread like song that people sing, or was this just like somebody made this up recently?
It sounds like something you sing in a school halls to bully somebody.
That's like somebody saying hanky panky nappy hair, because I would be like, let's fight. I do not condone fighting.
Again, this is another one that we would like to hear you guys' opinion about. Why do we sing Hanky Panky Shanghai? And my brother here, he's obviously Asian. He's going to speak about it. We're all going to get a good listen to it. But from our perspective, the women look like they're having a good old time, waiting for a good meal. Is this a song y'all sing before eating? Is this a form of grace? I don't know. Like, you know how for Christmas time we have like our moments when we get together and we may do like a nice prayer. For Thanksgiving we might do a nice strong prayer or something like that.
I feel like this is somebody just making fun.
Hey, I think he found the clip. Yeah, it's out there.
Apparently this song was and is in some schools taught to children, and it's supposed to be a birthday song, but actually it's not about birthdays, and it's a song about, well, a lot of words imitating the Chinese language like hanky, panky, and Shanghai. And I've heard of stories of even kids being taught to pull their eyes back to imitate the chinky eyes. I don't know where this came from, and I don't know why this was taught in the educational system. And I don't know why. That's the big question. That's the big shock for me. We got some bread. We got
that's a shock for me too.
And I just said that it sounds like something that wouldn't be like healthy inside the school system, and that he mentioned it as inside the school. So it's like,
but is it kids teaching it or is it adults teaching it?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think he mentioned it is in the system.
Yeah,
being taught to the kids. I don't know.
This is a shock because the Netherlands, like the people, the supporters that we have come to know from the Netherlands, they come off as just positive, great people. And even us, when we get on like our grocery talks and our car rants, it's like we're still able to have a conversation.
Now let's do this.
So that's a shocker.
We're gonna take this with a grain of salt and say this is not the entire Netherlands.
Yeah.
We would not accept that as the entire Netherlands because our supporters are just so heartfelt individuals. They come to us and they talk to us, they vibe with us, and they're very open. It's like we're talking like this.
Yeah.
So it's not, I don't think it's everywhere.
Isn't the Netherlands one of the like homogenous populations where a majority of the people are one race and
not just
have the same cultural background?
Yeah, and then they also say that the Netherlands are one of the most happiest people in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you guys have some awesome facts about yourselves.
So that's a shocker.
He is highlighting these moments because I see, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we ain't gonna say it's the entire Netherlands, but y'all can talk about it. We'd love to hear about it.
It's his experience. He learned about it, so let's talk about it.
some cheese. We got some bitterballen.
What's that?
Mustard.
Mayo.
And mayonnaise.
I've never seen mustard.
This, my friends, is Dutch food.
Glass?
Kidding, but not really kidding. Dutch culture is not.
You say mustard in a jar?
Oh, mustard.
Yeah, mustard, not mayonnaise.
Oh, mustard in a glass jar? Maybe.
Maybe the John mustard, but not like mustard.
I think it's like in the more fancier.
Oh, okay.
More like a fancier type of mustard or something.
Yeah. High quality.
Yeah, because if you put a certain style to it, people gonna buy it because it's like
a
glass on. Like for kids, you put a cartoon on the page, they're gonna buy it because of the picture. So.
Food. But I was shocked coming to this country, and then not really because I thought to my past, I had never had Dutch food before in the US or traveling anywhere. And there's probably a reason because, well, this is Dutch food. It's not bad. I do like bitterballen. There's just not a lot of variety. I remember my first day in this country. I was in Maastricht for university. It was orientation day, and we had free lunches in the cafeteria. Sandwiches. So I rushed to the cafeteria. There were bags of lunches on the table. I take my bag and go to my table. And I open up my bag. I look inside and I see that there's something missing in my sandwich. So I go back to the table with the lady and I asked her, hey, can I get a new sandwich because there's something missing in mine?
What was missing?
And she responded, no, that's your sandwich. That's your lunch. It was a slice of cheese between two slices of bread. Needless to say, I was still hungry afterwards, so I went to McDonald's, I think, and I got a few burgers. But yeah, Dutch people, Dutch culture, not known for its food. If you work for a Dutch company, oftentimes you'll gather around a table, from what I hear, and people will just eat sandwiches. Oh, just give me a second. I was just scheduling in a lunch 2 months from now, just like a Dutch person would. Because the Dutch, they...
Man, hold on. Now, I got something to say. So check this out. I've been in a corporation to where we would do a great job. We'll hit records on the numbers, right? Big sales and everything. And then we wouldn't get no raise. We wouldn't get no passes to no big old restaurants and nothing like that. They bring in some boxes of pizza.
Well, that was one of your jobs, babe.
All right. I don't know what other
one. The other job in Lake Charles, although the pay sucked. The job, they gave away TVs, they gave away appliances.
No, I'm talking about food. I'm talking about food.
And for food, they gave y'all Raising Canes. But that was Louisiana, though. We're good for eating. So.
Well, yeah, you got a point there. But I was just going to mention that it's about the culture, though. It's about the culture. Maybe that's just how they serve and eat their foods. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We did a video to where we have seen how all the children eat foods in the cafeterias.
Yeah.
So many different levels of dining, like from big stacks of plates to the bare minimum, like because this is how they offer their food. So maybe that's just how they offer their food out there.
But I bet if they giving away sandwiches, I bet they know how to make some creative sandwiches.
Come on, man, cheese and bread.
For cheese and bread, it's the
That
grilled
wasn't
cheese.
that wasn't cheese and bread.
Yeah,
So he got grilled
that's
cheese.
one.
So he got one grilled
They
cheese.
may have variety.
Of grilled cheeses. Then he got off.
He said of grilled cheeses. What do y'all eat? Let us know.
Let's talk about it.
Love to schedule, they love to plan, and they don't plan only a few days in advance, but they plan months
I like
and
that.
sometimes years
That's a bar.
in
I like
advance
that.
for a lunch, a date, or anything.
I like
and
that.
Dutch people
That's
are
me.
not very
That's us.
spontaneous,
That's
so
our
you
caliber.
almost never show up at someone's house unannounced.
Ooh, I
now,
like that
just a
too.
generalization, but in many ways it's true. The Dutch people, they love to be efficient, they love to save time, and they love to plan. I remember trying to schedule a lunch with a Dutch friend, and almost every time they bust out their calendars and their agendas and they check, oh, you want to do lunch? Let me check.
That's
Oh,
all
I
like
have an
Sierra.
opening."
Yeah.
Boy, when
Let
we
me
was
check my
back in Lake
calendar.
Charles and people would be hitting Sierra, they'd be like, girl, what you doing? What trying to get that? She's like, let me check my schedule.
For real.
And I hit you back up. She would hit him back up and be like, I'm available this date only. I'm gonna book the rest of the
Only
week.
this time.
Like real talk. And it would be just similar, just like that.
I
That's
like
crazy.
that though. It
Yeah.
helps me to be manage my whole family, my life. I love that.
Yeah, and if you guys ever heard me compliment my wife, I always mention how organized she is. Like
Thanks,
when it comes to
babe.
the family, she knows how to organize things to the T. So that's one thing that she do that I just truly love.
Thank you.
She
See,
organized.
I can be friends with Dutch people.
We know when to pull up.
I'm
You
gonna
feel
bring
me?
some gumbo though.
Yeah,
No
we're gonna get that right. We're gonna get y'all together.
2 months from now, let's do lunch then. And for myself, I think of myself as a planner, but I plan things maybe a few days, a week, a few weeks in advance, not 2 months in advance.
Yeah,
And that was a big
yeah.
shock for me. There was another colleague I was talking to, and he was talking about his holidays, not for this year, but his summer holidays for next year. He had already booked his summer holidays for the next year. And I just found that extremely shocking. But in many ways, it's really nice because they're very organized, they love planning, but not so nice when you want to do things spontaneously. Dutch directness. The Dutch are some of the most direct people in the world, but don't confuse directness with rudeness. They're completely different things. You can find rude people from all over the world, but the Dutch, they just want to be honest and say what's on their minds. If you look at Erin Meyer's cultural scales, she's done years and years of research into cultural differences, and there's this low context and high context communication scale. And low context cultures like the US, Canada, and the Netherlands, they prefer precise, direct communication. High context cultures like Asian countries, African countries, many Latin American countries, it's really about knowing the context, and they tend to be more indirect. So there's also this other scale called the negative feedback scale, and this is where the Dutch are the most direct, even when it comes to negative feedback. And this is where Americans differ from the Dutch. Americans are very direct when it comes to low context communication, but when it comes to criticism, Americans are not so direct. This is probably where the Dutch get that reputation.
We direct. Cause why? Cause why y'all want us to sugarcoat this?
Ain't no sugarcoat.
Why
around
y'all
it.
want us to like it if we don't like it?
And then y'all want us to read y'all brains
Yeah. We're not
and
trying
say
to
the
make
right
nobody
stuff.
happy.
Nah, we're just gonna keep it a buck,
Yup. $1.50.
whole buck.
Of being harsh. It's because they're honest. If it's negative feedback or positive feedback, it doesn't matter. They're extremely honest. So
Hey,
don't
my thing I would like to say, and I always say this, I think though you may say the right things at the right time, it's all about your packaging.
The
right?
delivery.
So I could have $100 in a beautiful box. A person will cry over it. But, oh my God, you got me a gift. I have $100 in a ripped up box, beat up, smelly, and everything. And then I give it to you. Person probably won't even open it. You feel me? So
Exactly.
it's all about your packaging.
Exactly.
confuse rudeness with directness. The Dutch people, I find them extremely friendly, but they will say what's on their minds,
I like that.
positive
That's fine.
or negative. Housing is a
There's a
nightmare.
crisis?
It's stressful. That was a big shock for me coming to this country. I didn't understand or know how competitive it was to find a place here. Even if you have money, it's still competitive. Whether you're a student, a full-time worker, whether you're renting or buying, it's going to be really hard to find a place to live in this country, especially in Amsterdam. Because once a listing goes live, you only have a few hours to respond to get a viewing. And if you get that viewing, you have to take time out of your day. It's usually one day and maybe 20 minutes or 1 hour. And if you don't go, then you miss the viewing and you don't get the place. And especially if you have a full-time job, it's really hard to take time out of your day to go to a viewing the next day. So I've never seen a market this competitive. And I come from San Francisco where it's extremely expensive. There's just not enough.
Yeah, I would love to
That's
know.
wild.
Yeah, I would love to know how the real estate is out there, the cost of living. And are people like looking for homes 24 hours of the day in the
That's what it
Netherlands?
seemed like.
Like seconds available, somebody's on it. Like
That's what it seems like. But he's coming from San Francisco. That's one of the higher costs of living in the United States. You know, so yeah, it's gonna sit for a while because that's expensive living.
right. That is a big culture shock. there.
Supply for the high demand here. So yeah, be on the lookout for that because I'm currently looking for a 1 bedroom and I'm pretty stressed out. So just be aware that if you want to find a place to live, it's going to take a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of resilience. So if you decide to rent, you might come across an apartment that's completely furnished, nice. You
Oh,
might
wow.
come across an apartment that is not furnished but has floors. But you also might come across many apartments that have nothing at all, not even floors. It's called the shell. And that was a big shock for me coming to this country and going to viewings that you had to buy your own floors and install your own floors. And the thing about
Just
that
give me the
is
house.
it
Just let me
takes
keep my own
time.
house then. I mean,
Yeah,
just,
is this homes that you purchase or
yeah.
rent?
So
Because if it's a rent home, what happened to the last floor? They took it.
they put it down and they pick it up. Cause I'm just not understanding that. This is
But-
definitely a culture shock. We don't deal with these things, so
Yeah.
this is different.
But it gives you a chance to be creative with your space and put on your own carpet or your own flooring.
That's money though.
It is.
But I'm saying if I'm doing all that, I might as well just purchase the whole home. Like,
Yeah, just give me the deed.
I mean, and if that's the case, then is that what we're doing? Like, if you want to come across the shell of a home, are you having to purchase it yourself and instead of just rent it?
Yeah, that's interesting.
I mean, that's kind of a good way to look at it though. Like, if I'm going to purchase a home and all I have to do is put down my flooring,
Yeah.
carpet or whatnot, then it's already built and everything.
That's why when he said floors and you looked at me, I'm like, what?
Right. That's interesting. Okay.
And it takes some money to buy the floors. It might not cost a lot less than 1,000 euros from IKEA, but the time it takes to install the floors, you might pay someone a few thousand euros to install the floors too.
Sure.
And when you leave,
Right.
you either have to take your floors with you or you sell your floors to the next tenant. So
This
I don't know how I feel
Yeah,
about
we ain't
that,
gonna purchase
but
that one.
yeah, I never experienced that
Wow.
before. Definitely a shock. So when you go rent, be prepared to rent an apartment with no floors where you have to buy your own floors
Different.
and
Yeah.
install your own floors.
Yeah. Hit that
So,
pause
yeah.
button real quick. Let us know if y'all had to go through that.
Charlie.
You know what I'm saying? That's
Now y'all know.
different.
Look, the beginning of our adulthood years, we were not what we are today in
Right.
our seasoned adulthood years.
Right.
We're gonna go get us some rugs if we ain't got no money, and just put rugs all over.
Right.
Start padding them.
For our tenants,
DIY.
I mean, for homes like this, we would just have it all furnished.
We'll think of something.
Like, we're gonna have everything put together where people can come and view it and have their liking to it. But I don't know any location where you have to personally install your own flooring.
No.
I think it's a choice, but I don't know where they're doing it at.
No.
Like maybe
Right.
appliances.
That comes with how
Maybe.
the house is. That's different, y'all.
different.
That's a culture shock. I can see that.
I feel that.
I would
Though.
rather just get it all the way furnished if that's the case. Because that's too much.
When you come to the Netherlands, you might see the canals, the architecture. You also see big windows, big open windows without curtains. And that was a big shock for me when I first came here. And I was walking along the canals. And then I saw inside the windows what families were doing. People working, people reading. And that's the shock for me because there seems to be no privacy at all. But when you dig a bit deeper, it's tied to their culture. And it goes back to Calvinism, which basically
we got that.
Oh wait, let me see what he say first.
Says if you are an honest person, you have nothing to hide. So these open windows.
Baby, I'm an honest person, but I like to be sexy for my man sometimes.
Yeah, and that requires privacy.
Okay.
Lots of privacy.
I need blinds and curtains.
3 rooms back privacy.
Y'all don't need to see nothing up in here.
No, but if you think about it, we have locations out here in Texas where these homes are. Go ahead, tell them.
They don't have curtains, like they leave, and these are expensive homes.
Yeah, like really.
And they don't have curtains. It's just how he showed the picture of the man working. That's how it is. I feel like, baby, even when we get on up there,
I just don't know how that go. Right, I can't. I like the clothes in this.
I like to run the runway, walk the runway.
Okay, we're gonna continue now.
Those show that Dutch people have nothing to hide inside their homes. Also, the fact that when you open up your windows, you get more light in, and some people say that they feel more connected to the outside world when they open up their windows without curtains. So it might be a shock, but it's a pleasant shock when you come to the Netherlands. If you want to see a doctor in the Netherlands, then you might have to exaggerate that you're almost dying. Well, I'm exaggerating, but not really. But I was shocked when I first came to this country, and a lot of international friends told me advice. Hey, if you ever need to see a doctor, you need to exaggerate, because the culture here is that people don't go to the doctors for minor things like being sick with a cold, a flu, a fever. They go to the doctors for big things. And that's very different compared to a place like the US where people go for annual checkups. They go to see the doctor because they're sick. But here, you go to the doctors for big things. If it's something minor, the doctor will tell you, go take some paracetamol, feel better, and set you off. And this pissed off a few of my friends because they did actually have quite... it wasn't big, but it wasn't minor as well, issues, and the doctors, nurses turned them away. So you really have to exaggerate to get seen here. The other thing is that your GP, your general practitioner, your doctor, pretty much everything goes through your GP. And I learned this the hard way because in my first month here, I was at a park and I got bit by a dog, a pit bull. And luckily there were some police officers around and they were nice and caring. They told me to go next door to the hospital to get a tetanus shot. So I go to the hospital and I tried to get a tetanus shot, but the nurse turned me down because the bite wasn't big enough and told me to go to my GP. Unfortunately, at that time, I did not have a GP. That was my fault. But the nurse started scolding me oh, why don't you have a GP? You should have a GP. And I was just shocked because, I was shocked because of the dog bite. And then the second thing was that I couldn't get treated. She was scolding me at the same time. And yes, I know it was my fault, but I was just extremely shocked at that point in time.
Okay, so that's the good thing I like about being able to choose whatever type of insurance I want. Because, baby, if I'm paying you to be my doctor, I'm going to get in that room.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so,
They made it sound like living abroad where you can just walk in there and they're going to take care of you instantly.
Yeah.
But now I'm seeing you have to have a certain type of illness or injury on top of a certain size injury to be treated.
Right.
And you got to have a GP.
And at the hospital, and a lot of adults that we know do not have a family doctor. We call them family doctors or general practitioner, I guess what he's saying. A lot of adults we know don't have that. They only go to the doctor if they need to, and they rely on the emergency room. The hospital.
You want to sit in there for 2 hours or 3 hours?
Yeah, but if there's something wrong, you can get it treated. That's the pros and cons. And I remember we was having a debate on the channel at one point about universal health care and about how the United States, a lot of our tax dollars go to the military instead of for our health. And that was one of the pros and cons that we discussed, you know, like being able to go to the doctor when we want and not having to wait so long, or being told we can't get seen at whatever, if it's quick, you know. But in recent years, I say the last decade or so, we've had a lot of these small, what you call it, urgent care.
Oh, these
places.
little local urgent cares that they started building.
Yeah, so it's like a smaller emergency room where you can get seen within 30 minutes.
Right.
So that has been great.
Right. So again, you guys can comment about this in the comment section. We love to talk. Let's keep it positive. You know what I'm saying? And open minded. This is experience.
Right.
But maybe it's not like that everywhere. You know.
Right.
So let's hear about it.
So lesson learned, everything goes through your GP. Register for a GP when you first arrive. And 2, if you want to get seen by a doctor, then you really have to exaggerate what you have. If you need to pee and you're in Amsterdam and you don't want to pay to use a toilet, well, you're in luck because there are these public urinals in Amsterdam on busy streets, on the canals, and they're free.
This is a urinal and it's illuminated. It's like the most futuristic thing I've seen in this whole place. It's just you go and you just pee in it for free.
And it's part weird, but also part convenient as well.
Drop in the comment section if you use those openly in the community like that. Cause the first picture he showed, it was closed in.
Yeah, it was closed.
These
That's
is
okay.
like his and hers almost like.
His and hers.
One's on the side, one's on the other
That's
side.
a urinal.
Yeah. Okay. Bet.
I'm
Whatever.
not sitting
Cool.
in there.
But I'm just saying, like, we
But
gotta
guys.
stand. So we gotta stand in public with our butt out. Cause you know some guys do with their pants to the ankles. And they just, you know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm not saying that I do, but you know, in the open like that, that's
Now the one that's in
different.
clothes, that's cool for like the kids. 'Cause
But
you know,
you
the
get to
kids-
watch people just.
Oh no! I'm the mama. Well, I'm gonna take out a blanket, baby. You gonna be covered. But that is convenient for kids, you know. Cause
Quick
when
stops.
kids gotta go, they
I'll
gotta
call
go.
them quick stops. But
You
adults,
gonna
I
go,
think,
babe?
huh?
You gonna go?
Nah, I mean, even if I'm like passing by like a restaurant, a store,
I
or
don't
something,
think the
I
people
can
gonna
hold
be
it
like-
down.
I see what you got going on. I don't think the people gonna be like that. But still, that's a culture shock for real, for real.
That's a culture shock.
Where do the women go?
Right. Good question. Where do y'all go? Like, okay.
Because sometimes you just need to go. And there's actually an app to track all these urinals in
Yo, so this is a
Amsterdam
big time
as
thing.
well. They're very convenient. And what's weird is that, yeah, you just pee and you see the piss splattering on the ground. And what's even weirder is that there are these quadruple urinals. So 4 of them side by side, and you're just peeing next to 3 other guys on a public street while people are shopping around you. And so, yeah.
Yeah, sip your tea, bro. That's hard. Yo, that's
I
different,
understand
yo.
the concept. You
That's
know,
different.
they're giving you a place to use the restroom for free. If you don't want to use it, go pay for the one that's enclosed. I get it.
But it's kind of like saying if you want to use the restroom for free, literally do it for free,
And everybody
and
gonna
everybody gonna see. Literally, you know what I'm saying?
I know. I would. Well, I didn't see no women. That's a urinal. That's for the men.
The question is, would I be uncomfortable
Seeing that.
seeing that, standing there, having my child there? Because even whenever my child's in the bathroom, I make him go inside of a stall, like
Yeah, like
regardless
I don't
of like
want
how many
nobody
people in there. Just
seeing
go in the
me.
stall, handle your business,
That's
and come on
so
out.
personal.
It's a level of privacy. Yeah,
Like
100%.
even for our boys, like the ones that's enclosed, yeah, I'll do that one. But the other ones,
The
that's
quadruple
so
ones?
personal.
Imagine. Just
Somebody
tap-
come tap you.
Somebody just, who doing that? Quit it.
Ah,
What about for the woman and the little girls walking by? Like, is that like what is that? Like, what we doing about that? How y'all feel about that? Put it in the comment section. I'll let them know, bro. Like, what we doing? This wasn't a secret, obviously. But this never came across nobody news.
Y'all ain't tell us nothing about
Y'all ain't
this.
tell us about this one.
I love my coffee, but here's a quick tip. If you're in the Netherlands and you're looking for a coffee shop, don't ask for a coffee shop. That means something completely different here. That's a lesson that I learned. Coffee shops here are weed, cannabis, and marijuana shops. If you're looking for coffee, look for a cafe. Well, that's it for me when it comes to culture shocks. Yes, I could talk about many more. But the thing about culture shocks is that there might not be a right or a wrong answer. It's just different because we come from a different culture, a different country. And that's the beauty of it, right? When you move abroad, you live abroad, you study abroad. And there are some things that you might get used to, some things that you will never get used to, and that's okay. Anyways, let me know what culture shocks you've experienced coming to the Netherlands.
That was a good video. I like him.
Yeah, he was very smooth with it, honest, and he didn't come off as bothered. You know what I'm saying?
Respectful.
He says his learning points, and I feel like that's how we do on our channel. We give you guys learning points. Yeah. Your reaction is your reaction. You can't take that from nobody though. So I just had to go pick up my cell phone and just look at something real quick. One savage words can be.
Oh, it's tolerated.
Local authorities.
Okay. Coffee shop.
Yeah, coffee shop.
Got it.
Just want to see. Okay. Well.
Yeah. Sierra and the kids will not be joining that trip to the coffee shop.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about different. What about the bathrooms? The free ones? You wanna come with me?
The quadruple ones?
I won't even want you around. Like I wouldn't even want you near that.
Hey, I see what you got.
Bro, what the heck? Oh my God.
OMG, that was a good video. Again, like he said, it's just things that you view differently, you know, a culture shock. This was a good video though.
One thing I must say though, you know, big ups and, you know, to the world, bro, and how we're operating and doing things, you know what I'm saying? People don't know these things as existing. People don't know that they're doing it like this, you know what I'm saying? So when they go to bed at night, they wake up and they be like, wow, you know what? I just learned something new today. Yeah. Interesting fact. And I can talk to my friends about it. You feel me? So
we learned quite a few.
We learned quite a bit.
Information in this video. Here, I guess for the restrooms, like you can generally, if you are a patron at a business, they'll let you use the restroom unless they say that it's not for public use. So
they look like they just take the sign down.
No, you can't come here.
I mean, I'm just saying. Like,
yeah, this was a good video.
Interesting.
Yeah. We hope you guys enjoyed this video with us. Like this video, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell. We have enabled our super thanks if you like to support the channel that way, as well as our join feature to become a VIP member of the channel. Send in your reaction requests through our description box below. We'll see you soon.
Peace.